And magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. It's so nice to see old familiar faces coming to this event to express support. Allow me just to read my little message for everyone. We create our own shells to ensure our future, but that does not necessarily make us happy. We get out of our comfort zones not to make ourselves happy, but to make others live. There is more to life than bringing home a decent meal. The past year has been extremely difficult. It was exactly a year ago when I received my walking papers separating me from government. The 4 years I spent with people demanding swift and intelligent government action was most challenging. It defined me and my destiny. Others perhaps saw my acts as a threat. I saw it as a personal calling. Finding myself out of government, I sought refuge from well-meaning people if I were to pursue a cause that was made even more pronounced by my being out of public office. It meant getting back to private practice, earning enough, and saving enough so that I can continue helping the people who seek help. It meant doubling my efforts to assure that even in my pathetic state, I can persist in sharing all I can and all that I have. It meant confronting all those thoughts that I was about to sell all that I owned because I was all alone. I kept all those things to myself and persisted to do the things I used to do. I rented a small office right in front of the municipio and in 3 days opened the same to serve as my social service and my link to the people. In no time, people came. I was still alive. Lines became longer. There was no time to rest. Alongside the demands of addressing very basic needs of the ordinary mortal came the unexpected support of those people whom I never knew were watching closely. I considered them my friends who were there to provide hope. They preferred to remain anonymous. Since the lines were getting longer, I moved my offices to a road parallel to the major artery of our town, abandoning my office at mainstream Cainta. Some cautioned me that my new office was relatively obscure and people might not see it. I prevailed. I felt that the relationship that I have established with the people is such that they will go wherever my office is. And I was right. The office extended free legal services, financial assistance, medical, dental, ophtha, to facilitating requests for PCSO, hospital, and PhilHealth assistance. In no time, my team saw ourselves running a parallel government office, except that we had no public funding and had to rely on ourselves and benefactors to survive. That was how Tropang Nieto Incorporated came to life. Looking back at those 12 months, I never realized we will be able to sustain what we have started. The support came in periodic episodes. We were sending so many patients a day to a private diagnostic center who cannot afford to undergo ultrasound, X-ray, ECG, blood chemistry required by their doctors. I had to request my father to resume his medical practice by conducting free medical missions to treat the ill. I hounded my brother, Dr. Jet, to make sure his staff in Amang Rodriguez Hospital will take care of the patients I was sending. I shuttled cataract patients to Eastwood to undergo operations performed by a good friend, Dr. Ches Heredia. I sent eye patients to American Eye Center in Shangri-La through Dr. Badge Balinao. To date, there is more than 1,000 already who benefited from our cataract program. I conducted free notarial and legal service for those in need. I personally accompanied people to court to appear pro bono in their court cases. I had to seek help from friends in the food business to maintain the feeding missions I have started. We launched our cleanup drives in various areas. We commenced sponsoring binyagan and kasalang events to help those who desire to avail of the church sacraments, but who had no means to fund the same. I kept track of the stats. As of tonight, I stand as Nino of 2,813 children and Nino of 1,045 couples. Imagine what Christmas was like. By stretching myself, I had to endure the stress of meeting each and every person whose basic needs in life I tried to meet. I had to endure the many who sought seeking comfort and redress, and ensure that I can put a smile on their faces as they step out of my office. I had to endure the frequent travels I had to make to the cheapest stores in Divisoria to get the best deals in the limited funds that I had. That was the only way I knew how to make people realize that I mean well. That was how I understand that in order to serve them better, I have to toil and not to seek for rest. In the middle of it all, I started pondering where should all this effort lead me to. Elections were getting closer and the pressure to make up my mind was something I can no longer ignore. What is it then that made me decide to go further? I will be very candid. I want people to realize that they have a government that can be run by well-meaning people who would give them an extra mile to make life a bit comfortable for them. Kaintaj, I believe, should be in for better times. I decided to cast my lot in the coming elections and I am running for mayor of our town. And during the filing of my certificate of candidacy last October, I was jittery as I was not sure if people will finally come out and declare support. I distinctly remember the rains were hard and flash flood waters was fast rising in my office. I received a call for me to proceed to the basketball court where I was to attend the mass. This is how it looked when I came in. I never gave a single centavo to these people as I am not inclined to insult myself into bribing my way to project an image of genuine public admiration. They were the people whose lives my friends and I have touched when they needed it most. I am new in the field, but they say I have succeeded in changing the rules of the game. For me, it wasn't really changing the rules. It was fine-tuning the rules as I tried to reorient the minds of those who aspire to be in government, why he has to get into it in the first place. It was upping the ante of public service, pure and simple. It is a selfless act of submitting yourself to the confines of a taxing and thankless job, but a lot of people want to take the job, but want to take it for the wrong reasons. My thoughts of running is not born out of a personal gain, much less of a well-planned action as some would speculate. It was accidental and purely incidental. If I make it, I will invite you again on our victory party and tell you that part of my story. I come in not to prolong the term of a family member, nor to succeed a relative and recover lost power. I come in because there is a need for a fresh vision that will fill the vacuum created by a myopic perception of pursuing merely what is convenient. I do not submit myself without skill, as again I take pride of the village I have steered to make my villagers feel that they are in safe hands. Most of them are here tonight. I have submerged myself in the Undoy and Habagat experiences in cleaning up and helping restore all that was left of ourselves. But most importantly, I offer each day of responding to calls of the helpless as the best teacher to steer the wheel and get Kainta back on its feet. As the song goes, they just got to give me a chance. I will never impose myself on the people I have learned to genuinely care for. The coming elections will just be a validation of all the hardships my friends, my family, and I have endured, and see if the people appreciate all that we have done. Allow me to acknowledge the person who has honed my skill in writing and speaking, and whom I consider as my mentor in my legal profession, Justice Manuel Lazo, who cannot make it tonight. But my junior boss and good friend, Attorney Mitch, is around. Attorney Mitch, please stand up to be recognized. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the Philinvest community who have been with me from day one. Of course, my friends from the local government unit who have defied the odds and have taken who got enough cuts to be here, present here. Don't worry, I shall be back soon. And of course, my retained clients. I wouldn't miss this chance to thank my family, my mom who was opened her kitchen for my meals and the meals of the rest of the kainta. Of course, my father, who was resurrected his medical career by curing any and all kind of illness that confronts him every day that he goes to my office. And of course, my wife. My wife has always been there. And you know, the best thing that she has actually given to me, it's the thing about being able to do what I want without having to bother about the things that she would think or say. I think it's the idea of being able to pursue my own happiness, even if it would affect her and the happiness of my family. But I promise to come back, and then after maybe 100 days, I will make up for lost time, I promise you. And it will be... Of course, my staff and my good friend Angel Talaga, Victor, the rest of the Philippines maintenance team, and my office team, they've all been there, helping me out since day one. Of course, I have to make special mention of Congressman Marcoleta, who's present tonight, for helping me out in so many ways. And of course, I just cannot mention each and every person that's present here. I do appreciate your effort for coming over and spending the night with me. So in closing, if last year I said thank you because you came, this year I will say thank you because you gave. Okay? So sa mga hindi pa, huwag niyo lang kalimutan. And I make this promise to everyone that every cent of what you shared will go to those who need it badly. I leave to God's hands my future in this thing I am in. I know that I have done all things possible and within my means to make the people of Cainta feel that I am sincere in making a positive difference in their lives. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of my Vice Mayor, Pia Velasco. Where is she? Is she the one already? There's Pia over there. And then of course one of my councilors, the very beautiful Ruru Ferreos. Kasi yung aking mga kasama puro sila magaganda. That's one of the criteria to be part of Tropang Nieto. I'm sorry to say. See you all in our Thanksgiving celebration, and by that time, my hands will not be stretched to beg, but to just shake yours for helping me out. God bless everyone and enjoy the rest of your night.
Atty. Nieto, ladies and gentlemen. And personally, I would like to thank Kuya Kit for inviting me over. Ay, parang kakanta na yata. Okay. So this evening has been filled with conversations and great food. Are you guys ready for some entertainment?